Welcome to the dark side of Scorpio. And if you're joining me for your first time, this is going to be quite the adventure of you, Scorpio, you son of a gun. You're cray-cray, and everybody knows it. And we're going to talk about why. These are all of your negative traits, starting now. First of all, Scorpio, you are ruled by Pluto and Mars. First it was Mars, then when they found out about Pluto, they gave him to you because you know why? You embody Pluto. They were like, that's for Scorpio, definitely ruled by Pluto. Okay, and this is why. Pluto is about dark, hidden, mysterious, transformative, death, just the darker, unknown portions of things. Whereas Mars is very aggressive, competitive, hypersexual, and the god of war. So it's clear to see why Scorpio is embodied by both of these planets. Okay, and in your dark side, this really shows. Here we go. Intense. Extremely intense. Emotionally, but just mentally. Like you're just gonna keep running over the same things in your mind. But this time, let's go deeper with it. You know? They love to research. They're the private eye of the zodiac. They're like the investigators because they're highly suspicious of others. They don't trust anybody. And they are constantly trying to hide the fact that they're extremely vulnerable emotionally. So they have this hard outer shell and this really soft baby emo teddy bear inside. And so because of this, they're constantly looking deeper into things, wondering what you really meant by that, wondering what you're hiding from them, and just constantly suspicious if you're being completely honest or not, and if you have the right motives behind your relationship with them. They can be toxic, negative, because they're so emotional and so sensitive. They really take things to heart, easily offended. Like, but what do you mean by that though? But what do you really mean though? Oh, that's how you really feel? Okay, so they can be obsessive. And this is just because they're so high. Let me tell you something about Scorpio, okay? First of all, Scorpio is so emotional. This is their nature. This is their number one way of living. It rules them, their emotions. And not everybody lives their life that way. So they've had to kind of train their mind, I think, to overthink. And because of it, it overstimulates to try to be like everyone else, maybe like to try to see things like other people do, but they just can't. And it makes it really hard on Scorpio because the more they think about something, the more they feel it. And they're already feeling it heavily to begin with. And so they have to go over in their minds a million times, over analyzing things. And this is how they become toxic. This is how it becomes destructive and detrimental to themselves and those around them, because they're constantly thinking that they will find more answers. They will find what is hidden if they keep going over it or looking at a different angle or finding a different way to analyze, but they don't. They don't find more answers, and all it does is bring them anxiety and pain and depression, and they get in this funk. And it's hard for them to pull themselves out. It's like a little emo episode, if you will. You know, it's hard on Scorpios. And this is why they're seen as crazy. Because they're just so deep. You can't have a regular conversation with a Scorpio without it going there. You know what I'm saying? They're intense people. Just sitting down having a conversation can be uncomfortable for many. Another bad trait is they're extremely jealous. They're possessive. And not just with their lovers. I'm talking about best friends, family members, anyone close to them. It's like they want to be the best, okay? They're dominant. They're a fixed sign, so they're super stubborn. You can't sway them any which way. They're going to believe what they believe. And they can be intolerant and closed-minded of other people's beliefs. And when you try to sit down and tell them things, they'll hear you out. But there's just no way you're going to change their mind about what they've already discovered for themselves and what they've taken on as beliefs. So they might go, oh yeah, okay, that's a good idea, or that's cool. But they're never changing their mind for you. And they might bring up the same thing again, just to argue the same points again on another day, because they just can't let it go. You know, it's like their beliefs are so powerful to them that they may just continually try to convince you that they're right. Along with this is that they are extremely manipulative. They might be the most manipulative sign. And I'm going to go ahead and say it. It's because they're so emotional. They know how to flip that shit on you. Seriously. And they're also really low-key manipulative too. They're good at that. So what I mean by that is somehow Scorpio always seems to be the center of just every decision possible. So like, let's say you're going out with a group of friends, Scorpio might be the one to just take the leadership role and be like, okay, this is where we're going, this is what we should do, what do you guys think? And majority of the time, those people will just be like, okay, yeah, because Scorpio is so highly offensible or easily offended. I don't know if offensible is a word, but I just made it up. And it feels like you're walking on eggshells. So they don't want to upset Scorpio. So Scorpio, somehow through this manipulative, low-key vibe, has maneuvered their desires and wants and control onto everyone. And so, you know, and because they're just so sensitive and everybody knows it. So, oh, don't get them upset again. Yeah, we'll just go along with it. You know, it'd be great to see everybody. So let's just do what they want. And then before you know it, it's like every time Scorpio's planning it. Scorpio's deciding. Scorpio's got the last say. And that's that low-key manipulation. It's like, well, no one wants to upset Scorpio, so... Okay, not cool, Scorpio. Secondly, 50thly, I don't know how many I've talked about now, but yeah, the control factor. Okay, and not only are they just manipulative, like just trying to convince you that you should do things that benefit them, but it's a matter of control. So many people have said that being in a relationship with a Scorpio, friend, lover, otherwise, is like kind of being around your mom. Like the constant nitpicking, or like, well, don't do it like that. Well, you should try it like this. Scorpio just kind of has to dominate. It's like, you know, like a Leo or a Taurus would be. Who likes to tell you what to do. They can be really bossy. And somehow this natural leadership thing that they have gets them to the top a lot. And they end up being managers of companies or, you know, in charge of people. And so that makes them super intimidating. And then they take it to the extreme and become more and more bossy, even in just relationships and people around them. And this is discouraging for others. And that might be why Scorpio doesn't have, you know, too many friends. Some Scorpios do. You know, I'm not hating on you guys, alright? So don't take offense. I know that you will. Just try not to. It discourages people from being around Scorpio because they're so intense, they're so emotional, they get upset at every little thing, and they are bossy and controlling and want it their way and manipulative. And people can feel it. And maybe Scorpio thinks, well, I feel everything way deeper than everyone else, so like no one could possibly know. You know, like I'm the master of emotion, so no one could possibly know what it is that I'm doing. But it's like, yeah, bro, you're manipulative as hell, so just chill. No one wants to go do that right now. No one wants to go eat there. It's only you. We're just this whole time been saying yes, not to upset you. Okay, abrasive. They may act out and do things, say things, harsh things. They're known for having a very sharp tongue, okay? And the scorpion, right? The stinger, they'll get you. They're coming for you. And they are vengeful, and they will not forgive you. They might give you a million chances and let you back in, but they never forgave you for that. And they didn't forget either. And it's going to continue to come up every time you have an argument. The same story is going to keep coming up of what you did wrong and how you hurt them. Even if you really didn't do anything. I'm going to go ahead and say that too. And I'm not saying Scorpio makes shit up, but sometimes Scorpio makes shit up. And it's because they're so emotional. You know what I'm saying? They take it to heart, even when that person really didn't mean it. Or they take things to heart that really have nothing to do with them. It's like, well, how could you have hurt me like this? Like, I really said nothing to you. You're choosing to take offense because you're so emo. Take it down a notch, Scorp. Jesus. Talked about the jealousy, right? So even in friends, it's like if you're best friends with Scorpio and you somehow get a new best friend, not replacing them, just adding to the circle, they're gonna be like, oh, how'd you meet them? When did that happen? Well, I want to meet them. And then they would try to be their best friend too. It's like they want to know who you're around. And they're ready to pounce when they do something wrong. So they can say like, well, it seems like, you know, they weren't really there for you. Anyway, you know, and that's like why I'm your best friend. And this is how they are pretty much with everyone that they're close to. They're so scared of getting hurt. They're so scared of people leaving them. They're so afraid that they trusted someone in vain. So in order to prevent this, in order to prevent being hurt, at least this is how they feel or think, they try to control and manipulate, and this makes them super possessive and jealous because they don't want to lose these people. You know, they want to stay on top of it. So they can keep those people in their circles close to them, and so no one else can interfere and take what is theirs because it belongs to them. You belong to Scorpio. Everything and everyone that's in their life. You are theirs. Alrighty. Ruthless, okay? Merciless, even. They take it to a whole nother level, the vengefulness, because it's so hard for them to forgive. And here's another thing. They have to have respect from people, okay? They have to have people's respect because they have to be number one. They're very dominant in relationships. And so if they can't have everyone's respect, they at least want the respect from the people that they value higher than themselves. So people who they feel are doing better in life, are better looking, however you think that they would be better. Whoever has more value than they feel for themselves, they want their respect because it's somehow igniting within them the fact that they are adequate and they are worthy, because this very highly respectable, highly valued person values and respects Scorpio. Okay, because deep down, Scorpio feels unworthy. Scorpio feels inadequate, like they're just not good enough. And this is why they're constantly controlling, manipulating, fighting, competing to prove themselves. And it's really an emotional game that they play on themselves, you know, and the mental overanalysis doesn't help either. So, along with all of these great things, there's more. So I talked about the intimidation, right? Because they're so bossy, or they can be. And when they're in charge of people, they definitely micromanage. Like, that has to be the certain way. But why didn't you do it like this? Even when they don't really need to be. You know, it's like, well, there's several different ways that we could get this done. Yeah, but that's not the best way. You know, or that's not the most efficient way. Or that's not my way. You know, so just do what I tell you. Okay, hypersexual. They are extremely passionate in relationships and outside of relationships. But in the bedroom, they're extremely passionate, affectionate, This is how they feel worthy, right? When someone really loves them and someone really cares about them, shows them physical touch and love, and sex is very powerful for them and very intimate thing. Although the dark side of Scorpio is they may, in certain cases, in immaturity, in heartache, who knows what phase in life, Scorpio may tiptoe around dangerous things sexually. Okay, and because they follow that passion, and they might get themselves in a bad place, in a bad position, and just maybe do harmful things in the name of love, in the name of passion, in the name of sex, or romance. And here's the thing about me that you may not know. I have Leo in my chart, and so I have the need to feel what I call sweattage, okay? I need someone who sweats me, you know? And it's like that can't ever stop. Like you can't ever get comfortable with me in a relationship because I need to have the constant like reassurance or sweattage, all right? And Scorpio is the same way. I'm comfortable saying that. Scorpio needs that. They need to constantly know the person they're with loves them unconditionally, wants them physically, is romantically charged towards them and towards their relationship, and is passionate about them. They need that. They really need that. And because of this, they can be clingy, very needy, because it's constant. And they're very sexual, and they're supposed to be like the best in the bedroom. I don't know. Never been with one, but it's the intensity and it's the passion, and it's a little bit of that mystery and dark side too. You know what I'm saying? So watch out for Scorps, because that can get annoying. The clinginess, the constant affectionate touching, and the jealousy. You know, if you just get a new friend, even like if you're their lover, okay, you're lovers with a Scorpio, and you get a new friend, like a girlfriend. Like if I'm dating a Scorpio and I say, oh hey, I met this girl named Ashley at the mall, and what? Oh, that's nice. Oh, nice. Like they try to act like they're happy for you, but deep down they're like, okay, Ashley, watch this one. Like they do not want anyone coming in between them and their lover, or just them and their friends, because of their fears, right? Because they're so insecure, and they're just so afraid to be vulnerable. And this is why they have this outer shell that's like aggressive, or like, oh, Scorpio, you know, like harsh. It's like they've built up this tough shell to kind of prove I'm not weak, I'm not vulnerable. But deep down they really are. They really are. Like they'll literally cry over anything. Okay. A lot of them play victim mentality games. Like, you know, just no one understands me. It's so hard to find people who get me. I'm not accepted in a lot of social circles. I don't have a lot of friends. Life is so hard on me. My life seems harder than everyone else's. No one gives to me the way I give to them. I just feel so deeply for everyone, and I just feel like no one cares about me at all. Those sort of victim things, when really it's like you're just emo as F, Scorpio. Okay? And people care about you, but they just don't have as much passion and intensity as you. So no one's gonna give you that unless they're another Scorpio. And that's just facts, okay? They could be a Cancer, they could be a Pisces, fellow water signs, and that would work out great. But they need to have Scorpio in their chart, especially like Mars, Venus, you know, 7th house, 5th house, those kind of, you know, even like 8th house, sexual, marriage, lovey-dovey houses. They gotta have it, that Scorpio. You need that. They're cunning. They're smart because they're so deep. They're such deep thinkers. And they've already overanalyzed everything, that you could possibly say or do, and thought about it from every side. So when it comes to having, taking vengeance on you or plotting against you, you don't want to challenge a Scorpio because they are so cunning. They just know, they already know. They've plotted it in their mind, your destruction, and it will come to fruition. They go for the jugular in arguments, okay? Like I talked about that stinger and that sharp tongue. They're aggressive, they're fierce, and once you hurt them, they're coming for you. And they're willing to say anything about you. That little secret that you told them 2 years ago, they've been keeping it in their back pocket just for this. And they're gonna throw it in your face, and they're gonna make you feel like crap because you hurt them, and they have to help you to feel that. They need you to feel it now. Okay, and that's the vengeance that people talk about with Scorpio. It's like they want you to feel how they feel. Instead of just letting go, it's very hard for them to do that. And they relish in it, and they can't forgive it. They can't let it go. So be on the lookout for that sharp tongue if you get into it with a Scorpio. Okay, they rarely admit wrongdoing. And it's just because this is my opinion, they do everything based on how they feel. So as long as they feel a certain way, they could really say or do anything and say, well, that's how I felt at the time. Or they might say sorry and then follow it up with, but you did this and that and everything else, and that's why I felt like that, and that's why I did that. So they will easily justify and excuse their behavior based on how they feel, because their feelings rule them. That is how they live. And that's very hard for air signs who are not emotional at all, earth signs who are rarely emotional and are super grounded, to understand. Even fire signs, they're passionate, but they don't always understand the emotional level of water signs. And Scorpio is the most intense water sign that there is. Intense. Okay, their emotional nature makes them resentful. So any little thing, because they feel so deeply and they care about every little thing, everything bothers them, everything is exciting to them. It's just so emotional, everything. So if you don't notice something about them, if you don't notice that they're feeling sad or off, they begin to build resentment toward you. They do that little, I'm fine. They're not fine. They want you to ask them what's wrong. And the more that you ignore it because you don't want to hear about it, because it's probably every day, they need that release because everything really does bother them. So they need to talk about it. And if you're their partner or their best friend, they use you to do that. So if you don't do that, they will be upset with you, and resentment will start to build. If you don't notice the little things they do for you, if you don't comment and you're not observant. So really, Scorpio should be with someone who also has maybe like a little bit of Virgo in their chart, very observant, maybe Capricorn, I'm not sure. Okay, under achievements and any type of loss whatsoever, let's say they get fired from a job, any kind of failure really builds that resentment up against themselves, and they don't handle it well at all. Okay, they're secretive. This is one of the many known traits, aside from the manipulation and the jealousy, is secrecy. And this is because they don't trust people. They will keep secrets from you. They will hide things from you. Tell little white lies. And they may not think anything of it. It's just a part of them protecting themselves. That's how they see it, I think. Okay, and so along with the secrecy is the mystery. And it may be the secrecy, you know, and also because they're confusing because you're super emotional and everybody can see it on your face, but you try to be so tough and hard on the exterior and not show anyone your emotions like in public, but everyone knows because you're aggressive and competitive and courageous, you know, and bossy and controlling, and people can see right through you, Scorpio, okay? And that's why everyone thinks you're nuts. Okay, so the mystery and the secrecy, this is what can lead down a bad path for relationships. This can be what causes relationship issues down the line, is because they're suspicious, highly suspicious of their partners and don't trust anybody, so they keep secrets and they're very mysterious, which obviously if you're with a Scorpio, you would want them to eventually open up to you. And if they're keeping secrets because they're afraid to be vulnerable or whatever it is, there's really no excuse, you know, that makes you not so trustworthy, Scorpio. Okay, their emotional mind, because they're extremely sensitive, the dark and deep nature quickly becomes toxic. Because of this, like I said, they're prone to depression and anxiety. And this can be from all kinds of different topics in their life. Career, no one understands me, love. A lot of cases it's love. And it's because Scorpios love really hard. It's that intense emotion, and they give a lot of love and they give a lot of themselves. And it's hard for that to be matched unless it's from another Scorpio. And so they kind of probably do feel like they don't get the love they give. And this kind of perpetuates that feeling of being inadequate. Like, why doesn't anyone love me the way I love them? They do. But you just don't feel it because you're so wrapped up in your own passionate emotion. You need someone who can show you and be as passionate as you are. But I don't know that you would like that, Scorpio. You may think you want that, but once you have it, would you really want it? I don't know. So, inner conflict, okay? Because of this, they are trapped in inner conflict often. Confusion, indecision. They don't know which way to go, what to do, because they don't know what they're feeling really. They're all over the place with their emotions. And a lot of times they don't know why. They just know they're feeling a certain way and it's hard for them to pinpoint exactly what it is. Therefore, they don't really know what to do about it. They think too much. And being already so emotionally charged, the overthinking just perpetuates and strengthens that emotion. And they're really not getting anywhere with it, causing themselves more anxiety, sleepless nights, all of that. So Scorpio needs to learn to just let things go. Let it just be what it is, because you can't control everything, even though you try. You can't make it, you can't force things to go your way. They think too much and they feel too much. Okay? A little bit too sensitive. This can be a good thing, but it can also be a bad thing. It can destroy relationships. It can turn fights out of nothing. You know, and that's hard for people to be around. And it's hard for people who are in relationships with you. So, also this thinking too much and feeling too much, I feel it fogs the brain. It keeps them from thinking clearly. It keeps them from acting. When they go off on this rampage, when they do crazy stuff, and you think, it's like you think they're just being impulsive, they really thought that shit through. They really thought about it, and they did it anyway. It's like there's just this dark side of Scorpio that's just like ready to fly off the handle. You're like, whoa, where'd that come from? Super spontaneous impulsive action. That happened out of nowhere. What are you doing? And they're like, plan that shit. Okay. Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio are probably the best for Scorpio. However, Taurus would be opposites attracting. Capricorn might be good to balance out Scorpio because they're so grounded. So those are the best in relationships. Leo can work out sometimes. I think it's better in friendships because they're both so stubborn. They're both fixed signs. And so that would cause a power struggle dynamic between the two. But it has been said to occur. Okay, another thing that Scorpio do is they may test you. Like when they're trying to see if they can trust you, they may test you in the very beginning of the relationship by doing something, saying something, to see if you'll react appropriately, to see if you're willing to go along this ride with Scorpio, to see if you're a deep thinker, or to see if you'll keep their secrets, to see if they can trust you. Scorpio, you are one crazy son of a gun, and everybody knows it, but we love you. This has been The Dark Side of Scorpio. I hope you have enjoyed it thoroughly. I'm Sami. Please like and subscribe as I do all kinds of thousands of millions of topics. And I'll see you guys next time.